In mid-November 2024, Europe experienced a truly unexpected transformation. Seemingly overnight, a thick, glistening blanket of snow covered vast stretches of the continent, stretching from the rolling hills of Ireland all the way to the bustling cities of France. Streets that had only recently echoed with the sounds of autumn were suddenly hushed, their familiar colors replaced by a dazzling white. For many, it was a magical sight, one that evoked memories of storybook winters and childhood wonder. But this was no gentle snowfall. Instead, it was a powerful, relentless event, driven by the fierce winds of Storm Bert. Snowflakes whipped through the air, piling up rapidly on rooftops, cars, and sidewalks. In some places, visibility dropped to near zero as blizzard conditions took hold, disrupting daily life and catching many residents off guard. The storm's intensity was felt everywhere, from rural villages to major metropolitan centers. The early arrival of such heavy snow quickly became the talk of the continent. People gathered in squares and cafes, bundled up against the cold, debating what this unusual weather meant. Was it a nostalgic return to the harsher winters of decades past, or was it yet another sign of the unpredictable patterns brought on by climate change? Social media buzzed with photos, videos, and heated discussions as everyone tried to make sense of the November surprise. Meteorologists were quick to weigh in, pointing out that while snow in November isn't unheard of, especially in Europe's mountainous regions, this event stood out for its scale and timing. Archival footage showed that early snows have happened before, but rarely with such intensity or across such a wide area. The contrast between typical mountain snowfall and this widespread event was striking. What truly set this storm apart was not just the timing, but the sheer volume of snow and the unexpected places it reached. Cities and towns unaccustomed to such deep accumulation found themselves digging out, with cars buried and roads impassable. Maps of the snow coverage revealed a patchwork of white in regions that usually see only rain or frost at this time of year. This wasn't simply an early start to winter, it was the result of a complex interplay of atmospheric forces. Cold air masses colliding with moist Atlantic winds, all intensified by the unique path of Storm Bert. The skies above Europe became a stage for dramatic weather phenomena, as clouds swirled and temperatures plunged, creating a spectacle that was as beautiful as it was disruptive. To truly understand what happened, scientists and meteorologists delved deep into the data. They analyzed weather charts, studied snow samples, and traced the origins of the storm. Their work revealed just how many variables had to align for such an event to occur, highlighting the delicate balance of Europe's climate systems. In the end, this November surprise was more than just an early snowfall. It was a vivid reminder of nature's power and unpredictability, a tale of potent weather systems at play, rewriting the script of the European autumn and leaving millions in awe of the forces that shape our world. November 2024's weather will be remembered not just for its timing, but for the sheer intensity and surprise it brought to millions across Europe. As autumn faded, residents expected the usual chilly rains and overcast skies, but what unfolded was far from ordinary. Instead of a gradual transition into winter, a full-blown snowstorm swept in abruptly, catching many off guard. This wasn't just a typical seasonal shift, it was the result of a rare meteorological clash, where atmospheric forces collided in a dramatic fashion. Moisture-laden systems, carried swiftly from the Atlantic Ocean, collided with an unusually persistent mass of frigid Arctic air. This meeting of warm, wet air and cold, dense air created the perfect conditions for heavy, sustained snowfall, blanketing cities in white. Regions like southwest England and northern France, where November is typically marked by rain and mild temperatures, found themselves transformed. Streets that usually glistened with rainwater were now buried under deep, powdery snow, creating scenes more reminiscent of the Alps than the English or French countryside. Paris, a city more accustomed to drizzle than blizzards, recorded its heaviest November snowfall since 1968. For many Parisians, it was a once-in-a-generation event. Parks, boulevards, and historic landmarks were all shrouded in a thick, silent layer of snow, enchanting locals and visitors alike. The storm's impact was immediate and profound. People woke to find their neighborhoods transformed overnight, with cars buried and daily routines disrupted. For some, it was a magical sight. For others, a logistical challenge. But for everyone, it was a stark reminder of nature's unpredictability. The convergence of cold and moisture created a perfect storm, targeting some of Europe's most densely populated areas. Urban centers, unaccustomed to such heavy snow, struggled to keep up as roads became impassable and public transport ground to a halt. Events like this highlight just how precise the alignment of atmospheric forces must be to produce such extreme weather. The transformation from rain to heavy snow in a matter of hours was a vivid demonstration of the delicate balance that governs our climate. Meteorologists scrambled to track the storm's progress, while residents marveled at the rare spectacle. It was, in every sense, a literal perfect storm, one that defied expectations, rewrote records, and reminded us all of the extraordinary power and unpredictability of the natural world. Paris is a city known for its charm, bustling streets, and iconic landmarks. But when a rare and heavy snowfall blankets the city, everything changes. The familiar sights of the Eiffel Tower and the winding Parisian streets are transformed into a winter wonderland. But beneath the beauty lies a city caught off guard by the sheer force of nature. The sudden onslaught of snow exposes vulnerabilities in cities that are unaccustomed to such extreme weather. Pedestrians struggle to make their way through thick drifts, and the city's infrastructure, designed for milder winters, quickly shows its limitations. Sidewalks become impassable, and essential services are slowed to a crawl. Despite advance warnings from meteorologists, the city's response systems were simply not prepared for the scale of the storm. Emergency vehicles found themselves stuck in traffic, and public transportation ground to a halt. The result was widespread confusion and chaos, as Parisians tried to adapt to conditions they rarely face. Roads became treacherous, coated in ice and snow, making driving nearly impossible. Traffic jams stretched for miles, with cars abandoned by the roadside as drivers gave up hope of reaching their destinations. Unlike alpine regions, where heavy snow is a regular occurrence and cities are equipped with fleets of snowplows and experienced crews, Paris simply lacked the necessary equipment and know-how. The few snowplows available struggled to keep up, and the city's response lagged behind the storm's relentless pace. Municipal workers, unaccustomed to such conditions, worked tirelessly, but inefficiently. Salt bins emptied quickly, and public transport closures left thousands stranded. The lack of regular practice and robust infrastructure made every effort feel like too little, too late. Inexperience among drivers only added to the turmoil. Many had never driven in such conditions, leading to a spike in accidents and fender benders. Each incident caused further delays, compounding the city's gridlock and frustration. The chaos forced city officials and urban planners to confront a difficult truth. Paris's predicament is a warning for cities everywhere. As climate change brings more unpredictable and extreme weather, old assumptions about what is normal no longer hold. Historical weather patterns, once reliable guides for city planning, are becoming less and less useful. Comparing vintage photos of mild Paris winters to today's storms highlights just how much things have changed. The lesson is clear: cities must adapt and plan for the unexpected. As weather grows more unpredictable, resilience and preparedness are no longer optional. They are essential for keeping our cities safe and functional in a changing world. Forecasting severe weather relies on accuracy and timeliness. Large systems like Stormbird are visible days in advance, allowing preparation. However, smaller phenomena like snow bands are harder to predict. This unpredictability explains why cities can be caught off guard by snow. Even with technology, forecasters must remain humble before nature's complexity. Europe's diverse climates shape how cities prepare for winter. Cities like Berlin and Vienna are snow-savvy, with robust winter infrastructure. They maintain snow removal fleets and stockpiles of salt and sand. In contrast, cities like Paris and London, influenced by maritime climates, face rare snow. Investing in extensive winter infrastructure is impractical for them. However, changing patterns challenge this logic, demanding new strategies. Maritime cities must balance rare events with economic realities. Europe's climate diversity complicates adaptation to unpredictable weather. As November's snow melted, attention turned to winter forecasts. The 2024-2025 winter is expected to be average overall, but with regional contrasts. Northern Europe may see wetter conditions, while the south could be drier. These variations highlight Europe's diverse weather patterns. The forecast provides a framework for anticipating the season's character. It reminds us that Europe's weather is not uniform. Different regions will experience distinct conditions, driven by atmospheric forces. The forecast helps governments and individuals prepare for the season's challenges. The 2024-2025 winter forecast reveals a climatic divide in Europe. Northern regions, from the British Isles to Warsaw, may face a wetter season. Active storm tracks suggest a damp, stormy winter with potential flooding. Southern Europe, including the Mediterranean, may experience drier conditions. While appealing, a lack of precipitation poses risks for water resources. The forecast highlights the need for preparedness in both regions. Northern areas must manage flood risks, while the south faces drought concerns. Europe's weather divide underscores the complexity of climate adaptation. Beyond immediate forecasts, climate change exerts a profound influence. Warmer winters are a documented reality, not just a prediction. Recent temperature records in Germany highlight this trend. The UK has seen its warmest winter since 2007, a significant shift. Rapid temperature swings, or weather whiplash, are becoming more common. This volatility disrupts Europe's traditionally stable climate. The Atlantic's moderating influence is waning, altering weather patterns. Climate change is reshaping the climate we once knew. Europe's changing seasons reveal a systemic shift in weather patterns. Global warming doesn't end snow, it makes weather more erratic. Traditional seasonal transitions are replaced by abrupt shifts, or weather whiplash. A warmer atmosphere increases the potential for extreme precipitation. This shift challenges infrastructure built for a stable climate. Cities must rethink preparedness for a wider range of weather possibilities. Europe's wild winter is a call to adapt to a changing climate. Understanding this transformation is key to building a resilient future.